Another way that we can prove triangles congruent is by side angle side. And notice how I state side angle, color, side angle side. The angle is located between the two side lengths. And that's what they've got here in the picture. Notice that angle B is congruent to angle E, but angle B is located in between side length AB and side length BC. And angle E is located between side ED and side EF. The angle has to be between your two congruent sides that you're talking about. Okay, so let's try an example out of this. I have my givens written down again, and we know that WX is congruent to YZ. We need another side and then the included angle. I'm going to start with the easier part with the other side length. Notice that if we want to say WXZ is congruent to YZX, that's this triangle congruent to this triangle, I see that XZ is part of both triangles. So we can say then that it is congruent to itself by the reflexive property. Next, the angles that we want then are going to be between those two side lengths. So if I'm focused on this triangle on the right, the angle that I'm after is this one. And up on the triangle on the left, the angle that should be congruent to it would be this one, because it's located between the two side lengths that we already have being congruent. So we're going to say then that this angle measure is YZX. Angle YZX is going to be congruent to angle WXZ. And the reason that we know that these are congruent, this is a little bit harder to see why, actually comes from this given statement. We know that those two lines, this line and this line, are parallel. And anytime we see the word parallel, we need to start thinking about our angle relationships. And in this case, those two angles would be considered alternate interior angles to those side lengths. This side is parallel to this side. This would then be your transversal. You can see that those would be considered alternate interior angles now. We're going to say that these angles are congruent by alternate interiors. And now that I have my two sides and the included angle, we can say that the triangles are congruent. So triangle WXZ, triangle WXZ is congruent to triangle YZX by side angle side.